Okay, before I get this topic started and try to answer the question, just lower your expectations. I mean it, guys, just lower it, even more than that. Yeah, that seems about right. Alrighty then, it's time to go detective mode. Who are Konohamaru's parents?
You know, that's a really good question.
Now, after looking into it, to my surprise, this isn't even a theory. There is actual evidence towards who Konohamaru's parents are and what they did. But when I ask the most avid Naruto fans if they know the answer, the response is usually,
I don't know.
So as fans of this series, we all know by now that certain characters in the anime will eventually take a backseat at a certain point of time. I mean, even relevant side characters that have been fleshed out completely in part 1, such as Neji Hyuga, become irrelevant and butchered in part 2. We all call that the most powerful jutsu in the Naruto universe, called Kijimoto Forgetful Jutsu. Now, imagine this occurring for the likes of Neji, right? Well, think about the parents. They don't even survive or exist. This jutsu leaves no survivors, such as Sakura's parents, right? We saw them for a bit. We know their names and everything, but after that, there is no development. It's sayonara, goodbye, good riddance, it was nice knowing ya.
Goodbye to the people who hated on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me.
Now what about Tsunade, the 5th Hokage? Well, no, we don't even know why she isn't called Tsunade Senju. Instead, she is stated to be a descendant of the Senju clan, which is a very important fact if you think about it. We promise we will create a theory as to what may have happened later on in the future, so be sure to hit the notification bell just to be sure, and just in case if you don't get notified, and make sure you press subscribe because some of you forget that. So saying all of that, at least in Konohamaru's case, we know what his parents were doing and they actually exist. It actually caught me by surprise. Cutting to the chase, in the official Canon Boruto one-shot manga, which was a collaboration with Boruto the movie, which I don't know at this point of time. We know Boruto movie has been retconned to follow the manga, so by that logic, I'm going to say that this information is true. It is stated by Mitsuki, who is narrating the manga, that Konohamaru is the grandson of the 3rd Hokage who put great efforts into developing and expanding the village to what it is today. It then states that his uncle Asuma was part of the former 12 Guardian Ninjas, which we know is true from his backstory. And finally, it then explains that Konohamaru's parents were acting as the 2 right hands of the 3rd Hokage Hiruzen, and that his parents were elite jonin under the direct control of the 3rd Hokage himself. Konohamaru's parents were an ANBU duo team per se. Now that's it. That's all the information they have given in the manga about his parents. Nothing about their names, powers, or even what they look like. Are you satisfied, guys? Are you satisfied? I told you you'd be disappointed. Some of you may be thinking it's better if they didn't exist now, right?
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Well, nah, just from this tidbit information, I can go balls deep and explain a few things in details about Konohamaru. As I explained in my previous videos discussing Itachi Uchiha, we know everything this manga special states in these short sentences regarding the parents to be true, and it connects the dots quite well if you think about it. In the Itachi Shinden, for example, and even in the anime, it states that Hiruzen the 3rd Hokage controlled part of the ANBU, and that was under his direct control. And we know because of the darkness involved in an ANBU's career, a ninja's personality determined the eligibility into the force, leading to only exceptionally skilled shinobi whose personalities that don't match the organization to be rejected from joining. This tells us that Konohamaru's parents must have had the right personality type according to the leaders of Konoha to join the ANBU in the first place. The most popular characters that we know that were in the ANBU, for example, are Itachi, Kakashi, Yamato, and Orochimaru. Now, all these characters have something in common that we can deduce, and that is the ability to kill shinobi on sight and distance their emotions or feelings away from the morality of what they're doing. They are all exceptionally skilled on top of having unique jutsus to themselves. This is why I think the manga specifically states that Konohamaru's parents were elite jonin. They could have easily just stated them as being normal ninja, but since they are from the Sarutobi clan, it kinda makes sense why they would be more skilled than the average person.
Whatever, that drawing's nothing special.
Yes, you're right. Just like what's between your legs, right?
This revelation also comes to the understanding why Konohamaru acted the way he did when he was a child. He was kinda spoiled. I mean, as I said, this connects the story and I'm gonna go balls deep. When we were introduced to Konohamaru, since his parents would always be away, secretive and still part of the ANBU, right? Konohamaru was always referred to as the third Hokage's grandson or honorable grandson. Something along those lines, right? We can all agree to that. So that makes sense because his parents wouldn't be known by the public due to being distant and part of the ANBU. They cover their face, right? Konohamaru even stated himself, just like Naruto, that he wanted to be acknowledged as a person and not simply the Hokage's grandson. Konohamaru began trying to defeat Hiruzen in order to replace him as Hokage. Konohamaru probably didn't feel connected to his parents as much as he would have liked, since being part of the ANBU causes you to be kinda like Sai or Kakashi when he was first introduced. Since Konohamaru met Naruto, he probably sees him as an older brother more than anything, a sibling that can be put as a role model since his parents wouldn't be someone that he would want to be like whilst growing up. The ANBU aren't really idealistic now, are they? I don't want to be an ANBU if I was a kid. So when Naruto shows no restraint towards him and freely hits him, Konohamaru becomes impressed by Naruto and declares him to be both his rival and role model, and even calls him boss and big brother. Just like Naruto, Konohamaru when he was young tends to be loud, headstrong and spends a serious amount of time inventing sexy ninjutsu, and this is likely due to the same reasons as I mentioned.
俺ちゃんとクリアしたぞこれ。いやそうなんだけどさ。
先輩、あれは一体。
なんだろうね。
I don't know what this is, but it's kind of hot.
Also, now that we know that Konohamaru's parents are ANBU, we can deduce that Asuma, who is his uncle, had a brother or sister. I'm also guessing Asuma is a younger brother because Asuma is 27 years old in Naruto, whilst Konohamaru is 8 years old. This means if Asuma was the oldest sibling of Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, he would have to be only 19 years old when Konohamaru was born. But we also know that the third Hokage, Asuma's father, was 68 in the original Naruto. That means he busted some nuts and went balls deep, creating Asuma at 40. So in my eyes, Hiruzen definitely has more kids out there that we do not know of, and Asuma is the youngest of them all. Asuma's older sibling must be around 25 years old once conceiving Konohamaru. It is most likely an older brother that Asuma had and the father of Konohamaru, since considering his last name is Sarutobi. Usually in tradition the child follows the father's clan's name, and a woman normally changes her last name to her husband's last name, just like Sakura. Sakura is also known as Sakura Uchiha in Boruto, but then again I could be assuming too much. It's up to your opinion, since in Japanese culture if Asuma had a sister instead and she married a husband that doesn't belong to a clan, or is from a clan with lesser status than the Sarutobi, then her husband would become a Sarutobi, hence Konohamaru's name would still be Sarutobi. Like, I can go even deeper with this, guys. It's quite insane how much pops into my head with tidbits of information, but if I was the writer of Boruto and Naruto, it's pretty easy to implement Konohamaru's parents in a flashback or reminiscent episode for development of the character. For example, since we know they were ANBU Black Ops, this could be a driving point to Asuma's backstory that was given to him in Naruto, thus connecting even more dots in the Naruto universe and Konohamaru's life. Asuma, whilst growing up, not always saw eye to eye with his father. Asuma later came to respect Hiruzen's role as the Hokage and was proud to have been born into the Sarutobi clan later on in life when he grew up. So as a writer, we can say Asuma felt this way due to the fact of being in his older sibling Shadow, who was also an elite Jonin according to the facts, as well as being side by side with their father Hiruzen, protecting him at all times as ANBU, whilst Asuma wasn't being recognized for his talents at all. And here's a reminder for you guys, here's a clip.
何が不満なんだ。あんたの言った通り俺は玉王。なぜ俺を認めようとしない。少しは俺のことを認めたらどうなんだ親父。
今のお前には到底わかるまいよ。玉を守るという本当の意味をな。
あんたは俺を認めたくないだけなんだ。今ならあんたの言っていたことも少しはわかる気がするよ。
So in my eyes, that makes sense in enabling Asuma's and Konohamaru's story to have an extra layer of emphasis on why they felt the way they did and turned out to be who they are today. Konohamaru has shown immense emotional endurance, recovering from tragedies close to his heart such as the deaths of his grandfather and Asuma in a relatively short amount of time. Maybe he developed this side through his parents' teachings because they were ANBU and they have that side to them. Furthermore, since the manga panel displayed his parents to have ANBU masks on and one of them seems to be a monkey, take a look at this pic. With further digging, and we can see the same monkey ANBU being side by side with the third Hokage himself in manga chapters 121. They appear again in chapters 428 and even 450. So is this masked monkey ANBU Konohamaru's parent? It could make sense and easy to implement. We just don't know if they are still alive at this point, but all the evidence points towards it and it makes sense. Anyways, I hope all of you understood everything that I was saying. That's the end of the video. I hope I blew your mind in some way and taught you something that you didn't know about everyone involved. So as always, let me know your opinion in the comment section below, as I'd love to know it. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram or Twitter to be in the know of when we're uploading next and what is rolling around in my mind. I'll see you guys next time as always on Thursday or tomorrow, I don't even know.